The courtroom doors opened, and there was a silence as my crutches clicked across the shiny Denver floor, each resonating my suffering path. My heart pounded, muffled out chair shuffles. But I sensed every gaze. I'm Grace Harper, age 28, and I'll never remember anything else. My family sat like triumphant statues, confident I was erased, vanquished, but with me alive, standing tall with the pain in my injured leg. Their smiles shattered. My father leapt up, face pale, voice trembling. "Oh my God, it's her!" The room froze. His outburst slicing the silence. No one moved, not judge, jury, or lawyers. They thought I'd never leave that hospital bed, that the accident had broken me forever. They believed they'd buried me in my $10 million contract, earned through years of sweat and sleepless coding. They were wrong. If you were me, would you force them to pay or let them try to make it right? Consider it. My journey began not in that courtroom, but months before under Denver's hot sun. I emerged from a glass office building, shaking with elation, holding a folder containing a signed $10 million deal for my AI-based medical diagnostic algorithm. My creation would change medicine. All the late nights, squinting through debugging blur, and quieting fears of not being good enough had paid off. I was a 28-year-old software engineer in the big leagues. The moment wasn't real. Driving home, I pictured my parents' pride, my sister's incredulity. Our suburban family house stood still, a place which I believed contained love. But the kitchen air was chilled. My sister, 32, a senior project manager at my firm, sat with folded arms, her glossy polish transformed to a viper's glint in her eyes. "I did it," I said, brandishing the contract, $10 million for my algorithm. Her lip curled, not with pride but venom. "Your algorithm?" She spat. "The one I steered, managed, cajoled through meetings? My team shined it." Her venom left me stunned. She'd always been the golden child, Mom's pet. Dad's pride, but this was darker. "It's my code," I said, shaking hands. "My years of work." She pushed her chair back with a screech of wood. "Moving closer. You think you're superior to me, Grace?" She growled. I edged toward the stairs, begging, "This isn't about you." Too late. At the top of the staircase, her face inches from mine, fury trembling her breath, she spat. "You're nothing without me." Her hands clapped onto my shoulders. Time dragged on, my body contorted. Head slammed into wooden stairs, pain seared. Then blackness. I awoke to beeping machines in a hospital bed. Battered body, bandaged leg, cloudy mind. "You're awake?" a nurse asked in surprise. "How long?" I rasped. 2 weeks. "You were in a coma." I gazed at the ceiling. "My family?" Her pause spoke volumes. "No, dear. Your parents called once but haven't visited." My throat constricted. I could see my sister's guilt keeping her away. But my parents? I'd expected they loved me enough. Did they say anything? The nurse looked down. "They said you brought this on yourself. Embarrassed them." The words cut deeper than the fall. Shame from my own. Tears streamed down my cheeks. The people who were supposed to protect me had turned away. Days passed in that sterile cage. White walls closing in. No phone calls, no visitors, just nurses and my sore heart, waiting for a door to open. It never did. Then my sister came, arms folded, dressed to the nines, eyes icy with contempt. "Still hanging on by a thread, huh?" She smiled viciously. "You're holding everyone back." Pain spiked as I strained up onto my elbows. "Why are you here?" She leaned forward, voice sarcastic. "Just checking to make sure you don't get in my way." Her heels clicked on the way out, and I was left shaking with anger. Her presence wasn't coincidental. It was a threat. Strategized. Days after my friend, my sole supporter, came over, face pinched. She hugged me gingerly. "I've been trying to visit you for days. They kept everyone away." Relief turned to dismay as she continued. "Grace, your sister's telling at work the algorithm is hers. Stealing your $10 million deal." The words took away my breath. My work, my legacy, taken while I was stuck. I looked at my bank account to pay for medical expenses. Account frozen. I phoned the bank, hands trembling. Court order, the representative replied. Assertions of your incapacity. I was in shock. My sister's smug drop by, her self-assurance. It was a robbery. A man stood in my doorway. A lawyer. Face impassive but somber. He placed a folder on my lap. Miss Harper, I'm handling your case on behalf of your contract. He presented to me documents purporting transfer of my $10 million contract. My signature faked with precise lines. My sister, I breathed. Betrayal hardening. He nodded. Someone's attempting to get everything. I folded the documents, wrinkling them. Her smile appeared in my mind. He said a coworker at my firm, concerned by my disappearance, contracted him to get to the bottom of things. The court freeze on your account is just the beginning, he told me. Documents claim you're unfit to work, based on your medical records. Disbelief turned to dread. My records? I'd only been awake a week, and someone was rewriting my story. My lawyer, Daniel, leaned forward, voice low. We need to dig deeper. This looks deliberate. I nodded, anger rising. My sister wasn't just stealing my $10 million contract. She was erasing my competence, my identity. That afternoon, Dr. Price, a resolute woman in her 40s who'd overseen my care, visited. I found something troubling, she said, showing my chart on a tablet. Your medical records were altered post-admission. My breath caught. She pointed to entries exaggerating sedation and neurological issues, none matching my recovery. Someone added these to make it seem you'd never wake up, she said, eyes meeting mine. It's why the court order freezing your accounts went through so quickly. I felt a shiver. This wasn't about cash. This was about wiping me out for good. Memories linked. My sister's dominance, even as children, at age 6. She stole my beloved doll, smiling as our parents commended her assertiveness. At 10, she deflected their attention, portraying me as the problem child. As teenagers, she controlled family choices, holidays, bedrooms, always portraying me as selfish. Our parents never questioned her charm, her confidence. I'd built my AI algorithm to escape her shadow, prove my worth. Now, she'd orchestrated a theft of my life's work, with my parents turning a blind eye, as always. I looked at Daniel and Dr. Price. Their belief in me, a lifeline my family never offered. The forged documents, altered records, it screamed my sister's name. I thought of her hospital visit, her cruel taunt. Still clinging to life? She thought I'd stay broken. She was wrong. I handed Daniel the papers. Voice firm. We're fighting this. He nodded. A spark in his eyes. Dr. Price promised to document every record discrepancy. I wasn't just fighting for my contract. I was fighting for my life. Anger-powered. I checked out of the hospital against medical advice, still weak, and planned to meet my sister at a low-key Denver coffee shop. I stashed a recorder in my pocket, racing heart and all, and hobbled inside. She drank coffee, slouching in the chair, eyes acutely alert. You're up? She teased. Didn't think you'd make it. I forced a smile, going along, inquiring about work. She smiled. The contract's advancing. Someone had to do it because you're bedridden, I insisted, tone relaxed. You mean my contract? Her smile was frigid. It belongs to me now. You weren't going to get it done from a hospital bed. I ground my teeth. The recorder recorded each word. Her confession to swiping my $10 million contract. At my temporary flat, I encountered a private investigator, Claire, a no-nonsense, sharp woman in her 30s. Daniel recommended, I have been researching your sister's finances, she declared, opening bank statements. I took a gasp as she indicated payments, $10,000 wired to Mark, a co-worker at my firm, always willing to oblige her. He's been falsifying documents, Claire said, making it seem like your sister guided your algorithm. My blood was seething. She wasn't just taking credit. She was paying to rewrite history. Later, My best friend Cynthia called, voice urgent. I found something. She forwarded internal company emails. In one, my sister wrote to our boss, "With Grace out, I'm stepping in. The contract's in good hands." Another bragged about her vision for my algorithm. Erasing me, my hands shook, each word a betrayal. "She's been planning this for weeks," Cynthia said. "Everyone thinks she's the hero." My determination was strengthened. These emails were evidence. Tormented by Dr. Price's threat, I phoned the hospital's administration. The administrator assured me, "There's proof of unauthorized alterations to your records, entries hyping your coma, implying permanent disability." "Who had access?" I inquired. She paused. "A few staff only, but we're looking at an outside legal inquiry." My sister's network, her manipulation, flashed before my eyes. She wanted me trapped in a story of vulnerability. With proof piling up, I readied for war. In Daniel's disorganized Denver office, lined with law books, he declared, "We're suing for fraud and conspiracy to defraud you of your contract." My chest constricted, confronting my family, who'd turned on me so quickly. "The tape is crucial," Daniel explained. "Colorado allows one-party consent. Your cafe talk is admissible." Relief slammed. My gambit would stand. He'd introduced the tape, Cynthia's emails indicating my sister's motive, and Dr. Price's affidavit regarding the altered documents. Hope flared. But the burden of going up against my family weighed in. In a hospital meeting room, Dr. Price passed a folder to me. "I've written down all the discrepancies," she said. "Things were entered to make you appear helpless, warranting stripping you of your rights." Her matter-of-fact words validated a conscious conspiracy. Memories overwhelmed. Dinner with my family when my sister excelled. My parents beaming at her tales, overlooking my science fair victory at age 15 to complement her art project. My dad rebuked my efforts as unrealistic, driving me harder, constructing my algorithm, demonstrating I was sufficient. Now, they'd joined her once more, allowing her to control my life as I struggled to live. The hurt of their rejection began to overwhelm me. I sat on a bench at a park close to the courthouse, cold gnawing through my coat, allowing myself to feel the pain. I wasn't fighting just for my contract. I was fighting for my truth. My years of proving myself trial day finally came. Denver's courtroom abuzz with tension. I sat next to Daniel, hands locked tightly. He rose. Voice authoritative. "We have irrefutable proof of conspiracy to defraud my client." The cafe tape played, my sister's smug voice ringing out, "It's mine now." Gasps coursed through the room. Daniel laid out manufactured company papers, revealing my sister and Mark doctored records to steal my algorithm. I looked at her, pale, defiant. He produced bank statements, revealing her payments to Mark, who sat stiffly. "These transactions show collusion," Daniel stated. Cynthia's emails came next, revealing my sister's brags about taking my place. The evidence piled up, airtight. Dr. Price got up, voice crisp. Miss Harper's records were falsified to heighten her condition. She waved charts around, laying out discrepancies intended to render me helpless. Dr. Price went on, voice calm. "False entries implied permanent incapacity to validate the court order against Miss Harper." The judge's eyes angled. Hope kindled in me. The truth was untangling. My sister stood, voice keen but shaky. I was defending the company. Grace was unstable, unsuitable to lead. Her testimonial hurt, but disintegrated when questioned. Mark, her co-employee, came next, stumbling. I was obeying orders, eyes averted. His half-hearted alibi added depth to the judge's frown. My parents were in the gallery, faces a combination of shock and denial. My mother grasped my father's arm, lips shaking. His hard face cracked. They'd enabled her for years. Their complicity finally revealed. Daniel summoned me to testify. My heart racing, I looked out at the room, crutches holding me upright. I described my algorithm, years of labor, the betrayal, thrust down the stairs. I outlined waking up in the hospital, left behind, finding out about their plan to steal it all. They believed I would remain silent, I said, voice firm over the pain, but I'm here for justice. The courtroom grew quiet, my words registering. My sister scowled, confidence waning. My parents averted their gaze, unable to look at me. Power had shifted, the judge pondered, minutes dragging like hours. Her verdict was issued. Voice unyielding. The evidence is overpowering. The defendant concocted an orchestrated plan to cheat Miss Harper of her intellectual property and financial rights. She sentenced my sister to 4 years for fraud and conspiracy, Mark to 2 for document forgery. I exhaled, relief washing over me. The judge continued. As for the parents, their role in enabling this warrants a civil lawsuit for damages. My mother gasped, burying her face. My father's shoulders slumped, authority shattered. The gavel struck, lifting a weight. The courtroom emptied. My family leaving in disgrace, my sister's defiance hollow, Mark's head bowed, my parents facing the cost of their favoritism. I'd fought for my truth and won. My contract, my name restored. More than that, I'd reclaimed my strength. Outside, Denver's sky blazed bright. In my new apartment, small but bright, windows framed the city skyline, bare walls held promise, a fresh start. Free from betrayal's shadows, I cut all ties with my family, no calls, no visits, no chasing their approval. My sister, parents, belonged to a past I didn't need. The freedom felt like breathing anew. My sister spent 4 years, was ordered to pay $200,000 in restitution. Mark received 2 years and a $20,000 fine for his part. My parents were hit with a $75,000 civil judgment. Their reputation in our community destroyed. I didn't feel happiness in their collapse, only relief. They couldn't hurt me any longer. I wanted more than to rebuild. The agony of betrayal, of waking up alone in a hospital bed, opened my eyes to other people's pain. I put $500,000 of my contract into a Denver foundation for families of abuse victims, providing legal services, counseling, and safe shelter. At the opening, I addressed a small group, voice firm. No one should feel alone in their fight. The words bore my marks. The foundation took suffering and made it purpose, providing others what I'd never had. Moving into my house, I looked back. My sister's plots, my parents' neglect attempted to erase me, but made me stronger. I'd come through a coma, exposed deceptions, confronted them in court, every step, record her confession, produce emails. Dr. Price's testimony was a fight. My algorithm was back in my hands. I mapped out its next phase, larger than ever. The lesson wasn't revenge or victory, but independence. I'd pursued my family's love through accomplishments they overlooked. In that hospital bed, I discovered my own power. I didn't require their approval. My value was mine. Resilience propelled me through suffering. Deception. The courthouse. No one could steal my future if I didn't allow them to. Gazing out at Denver's twinkling lights, I was enough. I was prepared to create my life, my way.